So there are a couple of elements we will look at: the pitch of your voice, the rhythm of our voice, the timbre, and the volume. And we'll go through it in detail. Let's look first at our pitch. Have you ever thought of this question? What is your client's natural speaking pitch? If you listen to your client, think of one of your clients. How do they sound usually? Is their voice more in the lower range? Is it on a higher range? You know them well. You have spoken with them maybe at a casual dinner, in a more formal meeting, when you were shadowing them in the organization at meetings. What is their usual pitch? And do you sometimes notice changes in their pitch, how they usually speak? Do they speak differently when they're in a secure, in a safe environment, as compared to when they are like in a stressful situation, giving a presentation, a sales pitch, having uncomfortable conversations? Having a steady speaking pitch without changing it all the time unconsciously is something we aspire to have. So for all of you who have a piano at home, or have someone with an app, with a piano app, like just can open it like here. This is easy and free to download on each phone. The speaking voice for most men is typically a C. So when I speak, I should have around this pitch. For women, it's typically a little higher, for obvious reasons. So the interesting part of this is, I was a while ago, I gave a storytelling and pitching workshop, and I wanted to demonstrate this, this fact. When you usually speak, look, what is your natural pitch? See, little did I know that I was so excited and so a little nervous during this presentation that I raised my pitch quite dramatically, almost 2 full notes, and I spoke at a higher pitch, which is not a problem by itself, but it's often an indication of being nervous, speaking faster, and breathing shallow, breathing from the breast. The higher we speak, the less air we produce, the more stressed we are, and the less stamina we have. So this is something you could observe when you work with your clients, when you listen to them giving presentations. How is their vocal range? How is their usual pitch? Is this the way they would speak when they're in a conversation with their loved ones, which I feel is the default? What is the inflection they're using? What is inflection? Inflection is the melodic change when we speak. For example, we could go upwards with our voice, or we could go downward with everything we say. Some people also are stagnant in everything they say, and they do not make a melodic change, which can sometimes lead to very monotonous presentations. Or do I have a circumflex, like a circle, and up and down, showing excitement? Listen to this, and when you work with your client, what is their usual inflection? For example, if they're always like, really? Oh, this is true. If they have this upward movement, or if they have a more like heavier downward movement, go. Okay. Or if they are fine, whatever, or if they're awesome, amazing. All this transports, if you like it or not, a ton of meaning that we judge all the time. We can't say, oh, I don't judge you, but we judge all the time. If someone always has an upwards inflection, I believe this is true. There can be a lot of surprise and questioning, but it also can transport insincerity. Some people do this without thinking, that each sentence ends like this, and most people are not aware of it. So guiding your client and showing them, hey, by the way, I noticed your speech pattern, your inflection always goes upwards. Have you ever thought of changing it and going downwards to have some finality and closing a sentence, which shows more power, more confidence as well in the sentence we're saying. I make a point, right? I close it. If you hear someone being very stagnant in what they say, that also transports something. It could either transport boredom or just indecision or disinterest. So also like make your client aware of this. And as well, circumflex, when someone is really super amazed, that's a very energizing, confident, and also like finality, like empowering like statement. In music, that's the whole power of music, to change it all the time. For example, how many songs do you know that have just one note? Let's look at rhythm. Think of one of your favorite clients. What is their speech rhythm? Are they slow speakers? Are they fast speakers? Something just to think about, right? It also depends on the situation. I see like for raising hands for both elements. What we want to do is be aware of it. Fast speakers again have the same challenge as high-pitched speakers. It's difficult to sustain. For fast speakers of your clients, there's also a wonderful way, I have this from Toastmasters, to slow down. Give them the speaking exercises. They probably want to speak it very fast, but encourage them to say this slowly. Grumble, pause. Snowflake, pause. And not rushing through, right? So these are like slowing down fast speakers can do a lot to bring more calm and also more presence and like, you know, security and safety into the way they present. For slow speakers, it's the opposite. Sometimes you want to wake them up and say, okay, now like let's practice this. And if you're a slow speaker, say this as fast as you can. Snit, bip, blip, bip, blit, dip, blint, bit, snit. Well, this wakes up everybody, right? One of the biggest challenges though is not even the speaking itself. It is the challenge that your clients possibly have, that they do not listen, or that they are afraid of listening, or that they are afraid of being interrupted, or that they are afraid that a 5-second silence might be uncomfortable. Right? We feel very shy when we are quiet for a moment, and it can feel awkward. But we listen, we understand much more when we have time to reflect what the other person is saying. So if I speak to you and I give you a little pause, it probably helps you in understanding better what has just been said, what it meant to you, if it's of any meaning for you, to you at all, or not.